This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to everyone with an entrepreneurial spirit. That includes bootstrappers just starting out, established business owners, and business leaders. My goal is to help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Today's sponsor is Audible.com, the world's largest repository of audio content, primarily in the realm of spoken content, books, podcasts, college courses, including some dramatized books like the old school radio shows. So you have people talking, sound effects, which is very fun. And the book I'm going to recommend today is not related to business, but it is fun, and that is the complete Sherlock Holmes series. I do like reading Sherlock Holmes from time to time for a couple of reasons. One, of course, it's always fun to read classic literature. Two, it's entertaining, it's relaxing. But I find when I read Sherlock Holmes, it makes me more aware of being observant. So there is something to learn from literature, from fun, relaxing stuff. You can still learn good information. And of course, I also find it very fun to see how far we've come, because in the Sherlock Holmes original books, they talk about all the new technology, trains and telegraphs and all this exciting stuff at the time, which for us now is ancient history. It's always fun to go back and look at history. It's also very important to learn from history, and perhaps that will be the subject of another podcast. And of course, on Audible, you can get individual Sherlock Holmes stories that have been dramatized, and those are also very fun to listen to as you get voice actors and sound effects and music from time to time. You get to hear Sherlock Holmes playing his violin, etc. Really fun. And of course, as always, you can get a free copy with your free trial of Audible.com's package. If you go over to audible.com/bootstrap with a capital B, that's audible.com/bootstrap. You can go sign up for a free 30-day trial. Download the book. You get to keep the book. You get to keep 2 Audible originals, which is content made for Audible. And you also get to listen to their entire listening library for free for the entire month. And then after that, it's $14.95 a month. Really good deal. I love it. I have well over 100 books at this point. I can't even keep track anymore. They're amazing. I've used them for over a decade now. So I really do believe in this product. Go check them out. Audible.com/bootstrap. Enjoy. So today's podcast is going to be going up on the day before Thanksgiving. That's November 25th, 2020. And this has been a crazy year when it comes to, well, pretty much everything. 2020 bingo, coronavirus, murder hornets, floods, fires, hurricanes. It's been insane. And again, I'm still waiting for an alien invasion or a Godzilla attack or something along those lines because, hey, why not? But I've been thinking about this subject for a while, and when I first thought about it was probably about August, but I decided to wait until now because the subject is being thankful. And believe it or not, this is a key to business. It really is. You need to be thankful for a lot in business. It goes kind of along with the giving spirit, but it's also a heart of gratitude. When you're thankful for things, it will actually help your attitude. And I honestly sometimes do take things for granted. I get upset. I'm not very thankful about things in life, about business, about little details, and I really should be. But it's more than that. Being thankful can even be a business strategy that is well thought out on how to deal with customers, etc. And I'll get back to that in a moment. But for now, the first part, of course, being near Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving will be tomorrow by the time you hear this podcast, or back in the past, who knows. But the spirit of thankfulness can be very difficult in trying times. I can admit freely I've struggled to be thankful this year. It's been rough. It's been rough for a lot of us. But in order to push through, part of it is to look for the good in things. For just an example, right now things are tough, money's hard, everything's shut down, again, up and down, back and forth, coronavirus, everything's crazy. But just to put things in perspective, think about this. The average person in the West, the average person in America, is wealthier than many of the royal family and royalty and emperors and kings throughout history. Yeah, that sounds crazy, I know. Usually when you think of a wealthy king in history, you think of rooms of gold and fine clothing and huge royal banquets. And yeah, you may not have all that as well. So yeah, that's understandable. But compared to the life we lead, to the life these guys led, we're so much better off right now. Even in a coronavirus situation, we can sit at home and listen to podcasts. We can communicate with relatives thousands, tens of thousands of miles away. We can keep in touch. We have video chat. We have phones. We have tons of entertainment options. Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, streaming programs, YouTube. It's insane how much stuff we have. And then food, yeah, some people have gone hungry, things are getting tight on food. But even still, I have not heard of people having to survive on oatmeal for the week and then eating peas porridge on the weekend. I actually talked to somebody whose grandpa or grandma lived the Great Depression, and they said that every single day they would actually eat pea porridge. That's all they could afford. 6 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pea porridge. And on Sunday, it was special. They got to eat oatmeal. No sugar, just oatmeal. Plain oatmeal, boiled oats in water, oatmeal. No salt, no sugar, nothing. Maybe a pinch of salt or something like that, but nothing else. And they loved it because it was special, it was a treat, it was different. And that was only about 100 or so years ago in the Great Depression. Most of everyone has indoor running water, toilets, a roof over their head, electricity, a refrigerator to keep your food cold and good for months. You don't have to get an ice cube delivered to you every couple of days. None of that. We are so spoiled, and a lot of times we don't realize how good we have it. Even in business, we can operate our businesses from home pretty easily now. Can you imagine trying to operate a business from home without the internet? How do you market from home? How do you keep all your books? I'm so grateful I have computers to help me keep my books, keep my accounting. I don't have to try to sit there and write it all out by hand and keep tracks of multiple sheets of paper. And we even have calculators even to do that if we need to. I mean, we've got it really good. Even in hard times, we've got it really, really good. And can you imagine being a king a couple hundred years ago? No indoor toilets, disease easily running rampant, no idea of sanitation, no idea of how to keep things clean. Sure, you might be the richest, most powerful person in the land, but disease can strike you and kill you just as quickly as anyone else because of just the overall filthy conditions. No indoor plumbing, no running water, obviously goes with that. The food had to be prepared every single day, otherwise it would pretty much go bad, and or you'd have to soak it in salt water and preserve it. I mean, we really do have things really good compared to even a couple hundred years ago, even 100 years ago. We are overall much wealthier as an entire society than pretty much any society in history. It's really amazing. And that's something really to be thankful for. Now, I'm not trying to be sappy and a normal Thanksgiving thing, but it's something I've had to look at because this has been a rough year. And when you're more thankful for what you do have, it's easier to be generous. It's easier to take care of other people because you realize how good you have it. It's easier to be generous. And the giving spirit is so important. When you're thankful, it's easier to find value in other people, to provide value for people when you're thankful. It's very much a business strategy, not just because it's Thanksgiving. Again, I've thought about recording this months and months ago, but I figured I would wait for Thanksgiving because it'd be an appropriate time for it. So, another thing I've noticed is in business, when people get ungrateful for what they do have, they start to complain. And when you start complaining, you start finding problems with everything. When you start complaining, then you're not satisfied about your suppliers, about your vendors, about your customers. You get upset, and it can really ruin your business. It can ruin your whole outlook, drive away customers, and drive away employees, and that is not helpful. Matter of fact, the guy I talked about before, the worst boss I ever had, who lost all his employees one day, was not thankful for what he had. He was always complaining about what he had. He was ungrateful that he had to be where he was. He was not happy about the position he was in. He was not happy at all. He was not thankful for it. He was not happy he could feed his family. He would say it sometimes, but then he'd immediately complain about something else. So it can overall destroy your outlook on life, destroy your business. So ingratitude can be very, very problematic. But we're not here to talk about ingratitude, we're talking about thankfulness. So being thankful, finding good things to be happy about and be grateful for is very important. Now, another thing that's really important to be is thankful for your customers. Let's face it, if you don't have any customers, if you don't have anyone listening to your content, watching your content, if you don't have people providing value for in some way, shape, or form, you do not have a business and you're not going to make money. Even if you're working at a job, if you're not somehow providing value for your employer and or your employer's customers, you still will not have a job. You won't be able to continue that way. So being grateful for the people that give you the opportunity to succeed is very important. And it's very important to show your gratitude. Matter of fact, I realize I've listened to quite a few podcasts, and one thing I've noticed, some of the best ones are the guys are always thankful to their audience. They they pause and they say, "Hey, thank you for listening." And you know what? I realized just now as I'm recording this that I have not really said that to you guys. And so I'm going to stop right here and say, "Hey guys, thank you for listening to my podcast. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I really do appreciate. I am very thankful for you guys that are listening, that are supporting my podcast, supporting my content. It is very important to me, and I'm very glad that I can help you. And I am very thankful for that. And it's not just because Thanksgiving. I've been thinking I need to be more thankful and thank you guys more often as we go forward. So I am very thankful. And when it comes to business and being thankful for your customers feel like you appreciate them and you're glad to have them, they will come back. And one great way to do this is to thank them. So many times, how many times do you go to a store and look at the receipt and it says, "Thank you for shopping here"? Or one time when I worked at the ski resort, as you drove out, it said, "We know you had other choices. Thanks for choosing us." I've seen that type of thing where they thank the customers. It's a very good thing to thank your customers. And yeah, it might be silly and kind of informal to have it on your receipt or on a sign as you leave, but it's very good to have it out there, even though it's subconscious, even though it's a small thing. So if you can incorporate thanking your customers into what you do, that's very important. And one of the ways you can do that is thank a customer in person. If you have a business where you can send individual thank you notes to the customers, great. Tell your customers, "Thank you for buying from me. Thank you for using my services." If you can send a note saying thank you. If you want to do a little video of you just saying, "Hi, thank you for using my service," send them the video. "Thank you very much." Just little things, little notes to show that your gratitude to the customer. If the customer sees that you appreciate them and you really do care about them and they're not just a number, they're not just a money source for you, they're going to become more loyal to you and they will want to come back and they will tell other people about your service when it comes up. And that's always a great thing. Remember, a very happy customer is going to tell a few people about your service. An upset customer is going to tell a lot more. I can't remember the exact ratios, but I'll be dealing with that in another podcast episode. If I keep doing that, I will have podcast episodes up until the day I die. Anyway, so being thankful and showing thankfulness and gratefulness to your customers is very important. And help you grow your business and keep your business strong when you are very thankful. Now, it's not just your customers that you need to be thankful for. You need to be thankful for your vendors, for your suppliers, because without them, your business doesn't survive. If you can let people know that you're grateful for the services they provide, they will tend to go more out of their way to take care of you. The more grateful you are to your suppliers, to your vendors, it just helps with the overall communication and relationship. And you want a good relationship with suppliers and vendors. Very important. And perhaps even more important, definitely more important than your suppliers and vendors, but at least as important as your customers, if not more so, is be grateful for your employees. Let your employees know you appreciate them, that you're thankful to have them, and let them know that you believe they're doing a good job when they are. If they're not doing a good job, you need to fix that, and then if they still don't do a good job, you get rid of them, of course. But one way to avoid grumpy employees that are not loyal is to make sure they feel like they are appreciated. And one of the ways to do that is thank them for their work, let them know that they are appreciated, they are seen, they are known, and don't do it just on Thanksgiving. Don't be giving gifts and stuff just on Christmas. You want it to be an atmosphere of gratitude, an atmosphere of thankfulness as part of the company culture. Sometimes easier said than done, but it starts at the top. And if you're in leadership and not running a business, same thing. Start letting your employees know that you appreciate them. Pick an employee from time to time and just drop them a note. Say, "Hey, great job." Just say, "Hey," call them in and say, "Hey, just want to let you know you're doing a great job. I appreciate the work you're doing around here. I couldn't do this without you." This type of thing creates loyalty with your employees, and loyal employees and happy employees help happy employees equal happy customers, etc. It goes down the line. Now, one of the biggest keys about this is being truly grateful and truly thankful for your employees, for your customers, for your vendors. You have to make sure it's real. You have to really appreciate them. Because if it's just a manipulative thing where you're doing it just to show how nice of a guy you are, it's not going to work. People will see right through it. I know I've seen right through it when people say it. It's like the thank you on the bottom of the receipt. You don't really feel that, just kind of informal. Thank you for being a customer. It's still good to have it there. Don't get me wrong, but that's informal. That's push. It's like, hey, we're a nice company when they're really not. And yeah, you don't want that. But it goes back to cultivating a real attitude of gratitude. Yeah, I went cliche. Sorry. But there's an attitude of gratitude. It's an attitude you cultivate. You can really be appreciative of things in your life. And once you start realizing that you've got it good and work on that, it helps deal with anything like stress, depression. It helps you deal with employees, customers, when you have that attitude. So it brings it back. Another thing is when you are thankful and grateful, by nature, it helps you not be selfish. And when you're not selfish, you are obviously unselfish, and people can see that. And people want to work with a person who's not selfish, that's caring about other people. Because when you care about other people, you value other people, you provide value for them, they feel valued. And again, my whole main focus is providing value, being valued. And this will help you grow your business. This will help you grow your life, help you in life. Again, most of my stuff I talk about, most things in business can be applied to your everyday life, and it really helps out in everyday life when you apply a lot of these stuff. I know I've gotten to be a better person in general having to do business. Being a businessman has made me step up to be a better person, because to be a better businessman, I had to be a better person, and it kind of loops around like that. So the better I am at business, the better person I am, the better person I am, the better at business I am. It's a positive feedback loop. Definitely don't want a negative feedback loop, but it's a positive thing to do. That you want to improve yourself, and as you improve yourself, your business improves. And as you learn things from business, you can improve yourself from what you learned in business and back. So, to wrap up, not just on Thanksgiving, be thankful every day. We have so much to be thankful for. When you have a good attitude of gratitude, I did it again, then it can really help you push through in your business, push through the hard times, push through the stressful times, encourage your employees, encourage your customers. It helps everyone completely. And by the way, the person I got that cliche sounding, that attitude of gratitude, is a guy named Nick Vujicic. Now, Nick Vujicic, if you've never heard of him, go look him up. Don't ask me how to spell his last name. But you can find him. You can look up Life Without Limbs. And we'll finish with this little story. Nick Vujicic is a young man who was born without arms or legs. He has this tiny little foot-like appendage that he uses for pretty much everything. And that's it. It's a guy with no arms, no legs, born that way with no explanation. And he has this attitude of just so happy that he's alive, so happy he can do anything. He's now married, he's got kids. Of course, having no arms or legs, what does he do? He's a speaker. He's an motivational speaker. He goes around and he speaks to people and encourages people through their hard times and struggles. And great guy. Go check out this guy. He's got an attitude of gratitude. And during Thanksgiving, looking at him and go, hey, if this guy can be born without arms and legs and start a business and be massively successful without arms and legs, because he's thankful for what he does have and he has a great attitude, then maybe we can. So being thankful all year round can really change your life. Anyway, you have a great Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. If you found value in this content, please leave a comment and give us a 5-star rating on whichever podcast platform you use. We're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google, and most other podcast platforms. If you would like to support us, you can check out our sponsor links, or if you'd like to support us directly, you can donate or join our membership program at buymeacoffee.com/bootstrap. Of course, it really helps when you share these podcasts with your friends as well. If you'd like to interact with me and other bootstrappers and leaders, you can join us over at our O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast Facebook group. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, an Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For our companion podcast, the Atheoz Business Podcast, which is hosted by Jason St. Clair, past episodes and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com, which is at www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.